We'll do it live!
My name's Sloan Kelly.
My name is Jody Kelly.
And my name is James Baker.
We're having a Halloween spooktacular.
Indeed we are.
So this is the top 5 movies that terrify us.
Right. I've got some notes here as well. Right, mine is kind of are in order. I like that a little bit, and I don't like it when you guys say, "Oh, in no particular order." I'm like,
it's him. It's him, James. It's not me.
No, it's not. Sloan,
it's him.
It's you as well.
It's not.
I'm going to start off with Halloween, 1978's Halloween, for a lot of reasons.
Thank God somebody said it.
It is a great film. I can't say I feel particularly petrified or terrified when I watch it now. I just love the filmmaking. I love the fact it's the 70s. I love the music. Yes, absolutely. He plays Loomis, didn't he? And Jamie Lee Curtis. I think that's. I know probably Janet Leigh's the birth of the Scream Queen, but to have Jamie Lee Curtis, her actual daughter, literally take the mantle up from the 70s. She's the proper, dare I say, golden era or modern silver age, maybe.
And now she's in. Well, it's cancelled now, but she was in that show Scream Queens, and she played the principal of the dean or whatever it was of the faculty.
Right.
So
I love his music. I mean, when John Carpenter does music, it's just he does the film and does the music. It's just you're onto a winner.
Man.
I like the there's loads of iconic scenes in there where he's dressed up. He's got the ghost kind of sheet on, and he puts the glasses on over it. And he just does some big, mega strong moves, like he lifts like some guy up and sticks him against the wall, and just
runs him through with a breeze block. Do you know how difficult it is to run someone through with a breeze, to stab somebody with a brick?
Do you?
It's from Fast and Furious movie.
There's a guy I know. His name's Ian Fulton. Right, he runs a gym up at, I can't remember where it is. It's up in just outside Kilmarnock somewhere. I'm sure he'll probably kill me for saying this, but last year he done this Halloween thing, and you should look it up. It's really, really good. He's a big fella anyway, but he put on a Michael Myers mask, and he'd done all these exercises in his gym, like if you were wanting to train to be a serial killer, and he was absolutely brilliant. I think
you want to train to be a serial killer.
It's clearly a spoof or just a bit of. He just done it for laughs, obviously. But if you find it, it's very, very funny. It's a funny bit of stuff. So, and of course, Michael Myers' mask is obviously a Jim Kirk mask with all the eyebrows taken off, which is brilliant. Did you know they called him the Shape? I vaguely remember Michael Myers' character. It was called the Shape. I don't know if it was called the Shape in the book, but
one of the most terrifying things about that whole series of movies was the fact he also went on to play Cat in the Hat.
That was a different Mike Myers.
Oh, is it? All right, okay.
All right, okay.
It's Austin Powers one.
Right. Sorry.
Oh, it's actually quite funny, and isn't it in Baby Driver when part of someone's job was it to get Michael Myers mask?
That's right. And they all get Austin Powers mask.
And Jamie Foxx's region.
Yeah.
And I was going to say one more thing about that. What was it? No, I just love it. And I'm not an aficionado when it comes to Halloween. I've watched Halloween a handful of times, and I think I quite like it just to be that way. I don't want to be an aficionado. I quite like to forget bits, and and if it was on tonight, I would definitely sit down and watch it and just have a good time. And I just know it's a great film. Just know it's a cracking film.
I think the atmosphere that it creates in it, and the music, and it builds, and we spoke about Halloween before, but the fact that he's supernatural,
he is borderline
physically superior than because when if spoilers, when he drops from the building and survives the fall and disappears. you know, and he's very strong, obviously, as well, and stuff. And
Isn't it
I
like
know
the
we
kind
spoke about that he's like he's like a kind of not supernatural, but he's a super.
They push the boundaries. They really, really push the boundaries in the storytelling of what he is able to do without fully going into the, you know, he is supernatural. Then they don't call that out. There's just like
there's a mystery.
It's a
there's a mystery there. Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't it like the first? I don't know. I'm asking. That's why. But isn't it like the first movie where they had a character like this? Because then they followed it up with Freddy and Jason and all these kind of.
Of course. Mm-hmm. Well, Jason was first, was it not? Friday the 13th was first.
Friday the 13th, I think, was first. Although Voorhees didn't really come into the end of that one, did he? It was his mum. So I don't know. I'll be honest with you.
1980.
Oh well, so there you go. Maybe Michael Myers was the daddy of them all.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Brilliant.
Friday the 13th. Kevin Bacon was in the first Friday the 13th.
He was, yeah. Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah, 1980 American slasher film.
Which one?
The first Friday the 13th is 1980.
And Halloween.
So when was
78?
78. So it's 2 years before.
Oh, so Halloween was the daddy.
Yeah, in fact, the golden age. Okay, so cashing in the driving success of Chainsaw Massacre and The Hills of Eyes.
Of course.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974, Hills of Eyes 1977.
Mm-hmm. Oh, listen, if you want to just go away and just readjust if you want.
Just we'll edit that bit out.
You can readjust if you
want. Just one more thing.
So listen, that's my number 5. I'm going to go on to another. Might sound an obvious one. I'm just going to go on to the 2018 sequel, the direct sequel to Halloween. We went to see it, myself and Gillian went to see it in the pictures. It's absolutely brutal. It's got
is that the latest
Jamie
one?
Lee Curtis. That's the latest one. Oh yeah, it's got Jamie Lee Curtis in it. It's clever storytelling. It's people who do podcasts get hideously murdered. The guy who I don't know who plays Michael.
Always good.
I know. So it's just brilliant.
I just remembered I have to go. I'll see.
We should have. See, next year, Sloan, we should do something special and create something.
It's a special.
Scary. Oh, sorry.
All that.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Done that in the back.
It took me a year to build.
Finished it not the other day, especially for this podcast.
That
we're now going to get
we need to do something special.
You're saying it's just me that's not done anything special. Apart from I am special.
Give me again.
Much better.
Good.
So I like the film. A lot of the stuff's come back. It's clever storytelling, cleverer than 1978. I've only seen it a handful of times. I just know.
I think it's clever. Do you think so? I've actually watched the new one, and I thought it was just a bit of a rehash. And the original is always going to be the best because that was the pioneer.
I enjoy this one more. I think this one's clever, but I love the original. And I think this one is a little bit.
But it wouldn't have existed
as well.
It wouldn't have existed if the original hadn't existed.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything, though. That doesn't mean one's better than the other.
Are you there?
But I just think it's brilliant. Danny McBride's in. He's not in it, but he does a lot of. I think he co-wrote it. Danny McBride of Eastbound and Down, Kenny Powers.
Yeah.
This obviously Kenny McBride. Is it Kenny McBride or Danny McBride? Danny McBride, not Kenny McBride. Danny McBride.
It's a good movie. I like Your Highness.
I've not seen that.
That's pretty good.
So
it's good.
I like the fact he does. I like all the stuff I like the fact that he's come from comedy, and then all of a sudden he's doing this, and he's doing He's involved in the Alien franchise, and there's a lot of these kind of serious horror films that he's kicking about, and I just quite like that. So listen, I can't go on much about Halloween 2018 other than it's the type of film, if it was on, I would want to watch that at Halloween. I'd watch it with Gillian and we'd have a nice time not a nice time, but just an enjoyable, scary time watching it.
Would you watch the Halloween 3 again?
Yeah, I watched it.
Halloween.
Yeah,
I think it's a nostalgia thing, but and it's got nothing to do with the story about Michael Myers. But I watched it and I was like, this is a bit dated, but
Halloween 3.
Yeah. But I think if you were to watch it fresh, you would think it was shit, probably.
I've watched Halloween 3 a couple of times recently.
I actually think it's good. I watched it recently and I thought it was good. But people coming in fresh to it might feel different.
Have other opinions.
Okay.
So I'm gonna use a phrase which I hate using normally, but that film is what it is.
Oh.
I don't like using that phrase, but for that film, it is what it is.
Well, I can't believe you used that phrase. Oh.
I know, yeah. I mean,
all I can
when
say
you
is
come out in this caravan park, you could just be anywhere.
No wonder he goes around killing podcasters for using phrases like that.
I mean, you can actually live in these things.
You could be in the south of France.
I never said that.
I know.
I never read that.
Some people do say that.
In Sundrum.
Aye, on sunny days. I mean, they see me
Although,
cutting about. I totally look French, don't I?
Yeah, you do a bit.
Baguettes.
Well, we were sitting. We were actually sitting. You saw us. We were sitting outside having a beer.
I know.
I believe it's
I almost said to you this could be the south of France, but I held back.
I know. See.
I was thinking it, and you knew it.
I know.
It must be the sea of tranquility on the moon.
It could be in Tatooine. Jakku,
or the lake of Naboo.
Oh,
Hold me, Annie.
like you held me in this lake in Naboo.
Right, listen. We're digressing. I'm going to move on to my number 3, which is the Dawn of the Dead remake by Zack Snyder from 2004. Again, it's another film that myself, first and foremost, I mean, Sloan, you were talking about there the reason behind the lists.
Yeah.
When you make the list, and it's like it's a film, if you think it's on, you can watch again. So therefore, you probably didn't insert Nightmare on Elm Street because it is a good film. But do you want to put yourself through that all the time? It's kind of a one-off, not a one-off, but you could watch that very sparsely. Whereas the films we're talking about, when they're on the telly, you're like, I can watch that. I can watch that a couple of times actually.
It's nothing like this, but I'm going to make an analogy. It's like climbing to the top of Everest. It's not something you want to do every week, but once you've done it, you're like, that was good. I enjoyed that. Hello, Green Boots, on the way down, and then you can say you've done it.
Yeah, for sure. So the Dawn of the Dead, it's stylized, it's action packed. It's the film that we kind of, myself and Gillian, we were. That was the year we got married, so it's got a lot of nice kind of experiences around it. And if we were having a Chinese on a Friday night, we just put the Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead remake.
You romantic bastard.
Quite a lot. I know, yeah. And it's got. But that was the first time I noticed. What's Phil Dunphy's the actor's name?
Oh yeah,
he's in it.
Ty Burnett.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's in it, and he plays.
I don't remember that.
He plays a bit of a git.
He's in. What was it we were watching? He's in, and he plays this. He plays the boyfriend of some character. I can't remember what it was, but I'm like, oh, that's Ty Burnett. Yeah,
it's a shame he's not in much.
He's so good.
He's good in that film. And I think if the kids ever seen Dawn of the Dead one day, because Modern Family is never off in this house. I mean, I like it, but it does my head in. But if they ever seen it in that film,
always
they would be like,
Liberal.
oh my gosh, I cannot believe what Phil Dunphy's doing.
Have you not showed them that yet?
No, not yet. I mean, they could handle everything else. They just couldn't handle Phil Dunphy. So I quite like CJ's.
What would Phil Dunphy do?
CJ's redemption story.
National Treasure Book of Secrets. That's what I saw him in.
Who, Phil Dunphy?
Yeah. Oh.
There you go.
Sorry.
CJ. I think he's a great character. I don't know if you remember his redemption story. He's the security guard for the shopping mall. And
I knew you mentioned this. I told you.
Is that Dawn of the Dead?
Shopping mall isn't a supermarket.
Is that Dawn of the Dead?
No, we're talking Dawn of the Dead. We're talking Dawn of the Dead.
So is that the one with the supermarket? Is that the one where they get the school bus and they all jump from the roof to the school bus?
Yes.
I like that movie.
Aye, it's a good film. So the CJ's character's got a real good. The way he ends up from where he starts off, his journey's really, really good. Always like that. The effects are good, and it's just stylized.
I need to see that again, man. I remember watching it and thinking to myself, it was a really respectful version of the. Well, they made a career out of it.
No, they made a game out of it, Dead Rising.
Dead Rising on Xbox.
Yeah, because it's set in a shopping mall.
Vin Rames is in it as well, and they've got there's a couple of nods to the original Dawn of the Dead. Ken Forey, I can't remember the guy's name. He's in it, and he says he's on the TV, and he talks about when there's no more room left in hell, the dead shall walk the earth. So he's like one of these preacher guys that comes on the telly and says his infamous line from the original Dawn of the Dead.
Okay.
There's loads of stuff in the helicopter that crashes in the very beginning. It's the newscaster helicopter that they use in the original Dawn of the Dead. There's loads of wee things.
You know what? I've seen the original, and I think I've seen the remake as well.
Remake's great fun. I mean, if you like 28 Days Later, it's more fun than 28 Days Later.
Yeah, it's a bit. There was a few bits where it was like tongue in cheek. I thought, all right, just remove him from the narrative, much like Eliza Hamilton.
So music's good. I think that was Zack Snyder's first shot at properly directing a feature film. I think he's done a great job as well. So yeah, again, that's one of these things. Myself and Julian end up liking quite a lot of zombie films. When it comes to horror films, I'm not into films like with demons and stuff like that. I like slashers or zombies.
Yeah, he did the Dawn of the Dead. Then he went on to do 300 and then Watchmen. Yes,
3 cracking films. He done Sucker Punch as well, didn't he?
He did. Yep.
Yeah, Sucker Punch. And I'm sure at that point.
He also did Legend of Guardians, the Owls of Goa'uld, or whatever the hell it was called. Which was
that him?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. Didn't realize that was him. Yeah, because I didn't think much of that.
No, it was not good. No, he also did Suicide Squad. So we'll see how that turns out.
Hey, he done what?
Well, he exec produced the original Suicide Squad, but he's back again doing. Well, he's not directing it because it's what's his face that's directing the new one. Oh crap! Who was it that was directing the new one?
Gunn.
Yes. Yes. The
James Gunn.
The Guardians of the Galaxy guy.
Yeah. After he got fired from them digging up an old tweet.
Yeah. Then he's back. I'm back, baby.
So Zack Snyder's finishing off a Netflix zombie film, which is about to get released, which sounds absolutely amazing. So obviously he had to leave. Did he leave the Justice League because he had that his daughter had committed suicide?
Snyder. Yeah, he did, and
so he left there, right? And
it is Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead, and they've got to break into Las Vegas.
A zombie heist film. I'm in.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah,
interesting.
So he's doing that. This is his. He said this is his first like proper creative experience since his daughter died, since his daughter's passing. And Netflix have just said, look, you just go and do what you want. So, and he's like, he literally has. So, and I think that's got to be out soon.
Do you think that's therapy for him? Do you think that's therapy for him doing his Snyder cut of Justice League then? Because that was his film that happened on, and he's going to complete his version of it. I wonder if that's therapy.
I don't know, Jody. I don't think that is as much therapy as this zombie film with them saying, just go and do what you want. Like, he literally has creative control over everything. Because
it's such a tragedy what happened, while he was making that movie. They had to drop out.
There's a lot of stuff going on with Joss Whedon and all his bullying tactics.
Joss Whedon, that was who did
behind
finished it,
like people are like, yeah. I'm sure. Who's the guy that played Cyborg? He was going to take him. I think they are going to take him to court, and Jason Momoa standing up for him, like lots and lots of bad ill feeling. Yeah. A lot of the actors giving Joss Whedon like a really hard time there because he gave them such a hard time on set.
Oh right, I heard
about that. Really bitter about it. So, but listen,
it couldn't have been on there for very long though.
What?
I don't know.
I think it reeks of Whedon. To be fair, I think the opening scene. Exactly. There's bits of Snyder.
Was he not writing the exec producer on that?
Yeah, but they must have shot a lot of stuff.
I think they did shoot. I think he dropped a lot. I think they dropped a lot of stuff, a lot of Snyder stuff. I think you'll find when that Snyder
to see. Yeah.
When that Snyder cut comes out, it's coming out as a 4-parter, isn't it? 4-part maxi series. I think on HBO. It'll be a completely different movie. Completely different. So
very interesting.
Dawn of the Dead, 2004. Again, it's just the type of film that if it was on, I'd watch it from the beginning to the end. I love the that song by I think it's by Disturbed, "Get Down with the Sickness." No, there's one
of my favourite songs.
Is it actually
wedding song? No,
no, but have you not heard the wedding song version? That's my exact point.
Oh really?
There's a wedding song version of that song by Disturbed, "Get Down with the Sickness." It's absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely. It was some Richard Cheese. You ever heard of Richard Cheese?
No.
Right. Okay. No, it's a thing. It's a huge thing, and he's got this.
I think we need to look into this.
Yeah, it's good. He takes like all these songs that you don't think could be covered by wedding bands and covers them, swear words and all. So
brilliant.
Richard Cheese.
Sounds good to me.
Aye, music's good. Opening songs by Johnny Cash, and just a brilliant film. Go and watch it. It's fantastic. So moving on. In at number 2 is Dawn of the Dead. So it's quite George A. Romero heavy, my list. It wasn't the first zombie film I'd seen, but it was the one I probably remembered and loved the most. And again, I would just go ahead and watch that with. Do you know who Tom Savini is?
Name rings a bell.
Tom Savini. He's in everything. He's directed a couple episodes of Walking Dead, but he was like one of the original zombie guys from back in the day.
Is he not in?
He was Sex Machine in Dust Till Dawn.
Yeah, Dust Till Dawn. Yeah, Sex Machine.
Is he like the Andy Serkis of zombies?
Probably, yeah. Do you remember Sex Machine in Dust Till Dawn? And his gun pops out of his crotch.
Yeah.
No.
That's Tom Savini.
But I've seen that film millions of times. No.
Yeah.
That's Tom Savini. So he's also in the remake, but he was in that. He plays the main bad guy, the kind of the head of the motorcycle.
I think he's been in Niagara Falls Comic Con as well.
Probably has. What a legend! What a great guy. So I don't need to speak too much about Dawn of the Dead, the original one, because I've spoken quite a lot about it when I've talked about the remake. But it's an absolute classic film. I'd watch it 100 times. I've seen it 100 times, and I'd watch it 100 times more. A brilliant movie. So I quite like the fact that.
Wait.
No, color.
No. Night of the Living Dead is
Romero's. Oh, sorry. Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, I've definitely seen the 78 one, and I think I've seen the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
I get totally mixed up with what.
So there's loads of. So in this is where the whole, like, when Romero makes a film, it's about something, it's about capitalism, or it's about politics, but it's all done through the storytelling of just using the zombies as a backdrop to all this. So the scene in the shopping mall from Dawn of the Dead is obviously to do with all consumerism, because they're in the shopping mall and they have free reign to do everything, and they try all this stuff, and they've got all this money and they've got all this gold, and none of them are happy because they cannot do anything. And it's always these comments on these social comments, and every film is about that. Like, what's
all
Romero's
good
social
sci-fi.
comment?
All good sci-fi is like that. Yeah.
So, and also like the fact that Romero really doesn't want to cast a white male lead. So like, and I mean like a white male American or a white male English, like all his leads are ethnic minorities, whether they're Hispanic or whether they are African American or whether they're female or whether they're Irish.
Why did he do that?
Because his surname's Romero.
Because he says, he's like Jordan Peele also feels the same way. He's like, I've seen that film 100 times. I've seen the white male lead all the time. So Romero,
because that was quite a bold move back then.
Oh, back in the 60s, making Night of the Living Dead and having the African American as the main guy. But there's a commentary there's a commentary on that as well, like his own. But I just like the fact that he does that, and he was doing it back in the 70s.
Yeah, I know.
When
that must have been unheard of.
Yeah.
Apart from blaxploitation type movies.
Oh yeah. I mean, Ken Foray in Dawn of the Dead is an African American powerhouse who's taken completely legitimately serious and isn't looked upon as an African American guy. He's just looked upon as a character, and that's. But all his characters are either Hispanic or Irish or female, or it's rare that the white guys end up getting it in the neck. So it's just one of his things. That's why I quite like it, because it's just different, and it was different from way back then. And there are many other reasons. Yeah, and it's and you know what? See, this time of year when it's Halloween and you see like all the leaves are falling off the trees, and you can look outside and you see it looks like autumn. It's the type of thing that I could definitely just sit and watch on like a Sunday morning or even a Sunday evening. When that time when the clocks go back and you just feel, that's the film. That's one of my go-to films. Along with my number one choice, I'll just segue into that real quick, which is Day of the Dead, and that's probably my all-time favorite. Day of the Dead. That's a commentary on army, and it's a commentary on American foreign policy, and there's loads of other things. But again, the leads are Irish, female, Hispanic, and it's another fantastic film. Music's good. I don't know if are you a fan of the Gorillaz?
Of course.
The Gorillaz. What was the first album they had? I think it was
Feel Good Inc.
Feel Good Inc. There's one of the songs where you hear.
That was the song. It was Feel Good Inc.
The guy. One of the songs has an opening. I think it's It's the song M1A1. Hello. That's taken from. There? That's taken from the opening scene of Day of the Dead.
By the way, I always thought that was taken from 28 Days Later.
No,
because he does the same line. Swear to God, he does the same.
If you watch those films, if you watch Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead, you'll be like, that's been used in 100 films. That's been used in 100 films, and that's been used in 100 films. Like all the stuff from 28 Days Later, all the stuff from The Walking Dead, like loads and loads of movies.
100%
ripped off Romero. Not ripped off, played homage to, because
when he stood in London Bridge, you know the bit I mean, Sloan? In 28 Days Later at the beginning, when he gets out of hospital, he's like, "Oh, there ain't anybody there." I'm sure he says that. Ripped off, or a homage. As they say, a homage. A homage to it. Yeah.
Homage.
So loads of stuff. I'm obviously a huge fan of Romero. That's apparent. So
I like a good zombie movie.
Zombies.
A lot of my top 5 was zombie movies as well. 2 of them.
Definitely. So
no,
there
3
you
of
have
them.
it. My top
zombie movies.
Sorry. Yeah. And there's loads of stuff in Shaun of the Dead. The whole his mum's called Barbara, and they're like, "We're coming to get you, Barbara.
They're coming for you, Barbara."
Yeah.
That's
Thank
the
God it wasn't
opening.
Martha.
That's the opening bit in Night of the Dead.
Night of the Living Dead.
Where they're sitting having a picnic in a graveyard for some reason.
Mhm.
He's going, "They're coming for you, Barbara." It's a great
Yeah.
So there's loads of that stuff. They starred, Nick Frost and Simon Pegg starred in Land of the Dead. They're such massive fans of Romero. They've got a bit where they are, you've got the big part where it's obviously the Republicans and they're all in their offices and they're all still kind of, they've got gold and cocaine and all this stuff, but then you've got the people who are slumming it in the streets. And Nick Frost and Simon Pegg play two zombies that are chained up and you can throw apples at.
That's cool.
I did not know that.
Yeah, just they got it just after Shaun of the Dead.
That's cool.
That's their cameo.
We're lucky bastards, aren't they?
That's nice.
Sure are.
Right, so just to recap, James's top 5, because we're doing it in order. Jody doesn't do it in order. That's fine.
No, I have this time.
What? Okay.
I think I've forced him into it.
Yeah.
I
James's
feel
top
James.
5. Just go the pinchy thing. Your sorcerer ways. Number 5, Halloween, 1978. Halloween, 2018. Dawn of the Dead, 2004. Dawn of the Dead, 1978. A good year for Merlot. And Day of the Dead, 1985. Such a top 5. It's a strong list.
Zombie heavy.
Zombie attack. No? Zombie Nation?
No.
Zombie.
Oh, yeah, which features in
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead.